Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank, where I climb the online VGC 15 ladder. So if you've been following the series at all, if you've watched the most recent episodes, you'll know that my rating currently is 1871, so that's actually good for 4th place in America and top 100 in the world. But the goal of the series is really to hit the 1900s, and I'd really like to get 1st place in America, so that's kind of the goal for the upcoming days. The rankings are going to reset, I believe, on the 12th, so we have around 6 days to accomplish this goal. Hopefully we'll get there, but I guess we'll see. So I'm going to just look for a battle right away. I am still using the same team as yesterday's episode with Hydreigon, Zapdos, Mawile, Conkeldurr, Bisharp, and Landorus T. We had 2 really exciting games in yesterday's episode, so if you have not watched that, definitely check it out. But first opponent of the day is going to be a 1811 rated player from Japan, so if I am able to win this, it should give me a fair amount of points. So my opponent here has got a team of Amoonguss, Kangaskhan, Sylveon, Cresselia, Heatran, and Garchomp. So very standard-esque team. No Intimidate on his team or a way to stop my Intimidate. So I feel like Landorus here is excellent. It can hit 5 of the 6 Pokemon for neutral or super effective damage. Nothing resists it. Cresselia is the one thing that does, but Cresselia is also threatened a considerable amount by my team. So let's see. Amoonguss is definitely a fear. I kind of like leading Hydreigon Landorus. I'm definitely going to lead with Landorus. And the reason why I want to go Hydreigon Landorus is because the one thing that really threatens the Landorus is Cresselia with Ice Beams. So I think I'm going to go with that. I definitely want Mawile in the back. And for the last one, I really need a effective way to deal with... This is kind of where I wish I had Safety Goggles Zapdos. That is the item I used to run on Zapdos, but I got rid of it for Citrus Berry. So, let's see, Landorus, Hydreigon, Mawile. Bisharp would be really nice here. Conkeldurr is tempting as well. You know what, I'm going to go with Conkeldurr. It can one-hit KO 3 of the strongest attackers on my opponent's team. Let's see, I don't think I really need Zapdos here because Thunder Wave's not going to do me much. Bisharp is really good in this matchup as well, though, but it's slower than most of my opponent's team, which is why I don't want to bring it. Let's see. And Conkeldurr is, of course, a bit bulkier as well. So, you know what? I'm going to go with Conkeldurr. The fact it can one-hit KO 3 of the most threatening Pokemon my opponent's team is tempting. We'll see how this plays out. Obviously, my opponent's highly rated as well, so be a great battle if I could, or great win if I could pick one up here. That would certainly give me enough points to almost reach 1900, but not going to underestimate my opponent for sure. So I'm going to go with Hydreigon Landorus as my lead. Looks like Kangaskhan and Heatran coming out. That's a fantastic lead matchup here for me, for sure. Because I get the Intimidate on Kangaskhan, and I can just threaten with Earthquake immediately. Presumably a Fake Out coming onto the Landorus here. We didn't see the Air Balloon from Heatran either. So I think I'm just going to Earthquake here with Landorus. The question is whether I want to Earth Power Heatran as well. If I were him, I'd switch out Heatran, though. So let's see. I would probably switch out Heatran to Sylveon and Fake Out Landorus. So I could make some plays here and switch out directly into my Mawile. Okay, I'm going to Earthquake here. Or I could just Earth Power that spot, and then KO it next turn. Or Dark Pulse. He might switch to Crest too. You know what? I'll Dark Pulse the Heatran slot. He does switch it out, so that's good. But let's see what comes in. I'd expect Cresselia or Sylveon. But actually, Garchomp comes out. Wasn't expecting that. That's fine with me. And I should be actually able to just pick up a KO on that spot next turn, so I'm perfectly fine, especially since, like I said, this is Scarf Hydreigon. He does go for the Fake Out as I anticipated onto the Landorus, which makes sense. So I'm going to flinch here, but Hydreigon's going to get that Dark Pulse off first. Let's see how much damage it does. Ooh, it looks like Garchomp might actually be able to take another one of those. So I could pull out a bunch of switches here. I don't want this Landorus to faint, obviously. I'm also not sure if Dark Pulse there was a roll, whether I could actually one-hit KO the Garchomp here with another one. I could switch into Mawile to get another Intimidate off, and that's a pretty free switch in, to be quite honest. And, I could double switch actually into Conkeldurr as well. Very tempted to go for the double switch right now. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to go for the double switch. Conkeldurr really likes this position. So that way I'm going to Intimidate the Kangaskhan once more. And I do want to conserve this Hydreigon for the late game. Both of these Pokemon, actually. So I got some nice free damage off on the first turn, but definitely not in the best of positions yet. But hopefully I'm going to be able to maneuver things a bit around here by getting another Intimidate off on both of my opponent's physical-type attackers. And that's why I like Conkeldurr a lot, because with the Assault Vest and Intimidate, you really just take any attack. He goes straight for the Rock Slide, though, not going for a Dragon Claw. So just trying to get some damage off there, as Kang goes for the Low Kick onto the Conk spot. And you see, it takes that really well. So that played out awesomely. Didn't take much damage and got 2 free switch-ins, though kind of surprising to see him just go for the Rock Slide instead of Dragon Claw. But now I can... We know he's got Heatran in the back, which doesn't really deal with Conkeldurr very well. I could also switch back into Landorus, which is kind of what I'm tempted to do, in case he wants to bring back the Heatran. Though Mawile's in a pretty great position right now as it is itself. I could also just Mega Evolve, play Rough, Garchomp, and... Actually, I don't need to play Rough that spot, I can just Iron Head. And I'm going to Drain Punch the Kangaskhan spot. He's in a bad position. Conkeldurr really loves where it's in right now. Kang is switching out. Let's see if Heatran comes back in. But that's going to be Cresselia, so that's good. I was scared of Sylveon being my opponent's last one. So we're probably going to see an Earthquake come out here, but that's fine. Though I guess Mawile switching to Landorus would have been a better play, but I'll take that. But he actually just goes for a Protect, which is better because it means I'll be able to escape the turn without taking much damage. Or any damage, actually. So Konk's just going to get a free Drain Punch. Obviously not going to do too much to Cress, so you see it takes out like a champ. But any damage is good. I do need to conserve this Conkeldurr because of how well it beats my opponent's team. It actually has Rocky Helmet, which is an item we see often on Cress, so that's good to confirm that he's got that. My opponent might just Earthquake and Psychic type attack my Conkeldurr here, which makes a lot of sense. He's definitely played this really well up to this point. I haven't been making the best predictions in terms of trying to regain momentum, and we both haven't taken too much damage, but he's maneuvered out of bad positions really well. But now it's good that I know all my opponent's Pokemon. So I could definitely switch Conkeldurr into Hydreigon here. Let's see. I can Protect and switch into Hydreigon. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to make that play. I want to KO the Crest, because once Crest goes down, Conkeldurr really sweeps through my opponent's team. So I'm going to bring in Hydreigon here, but of course, my opponent might be able to predict this and double target. Oh, he goes for the Helping Hand. Hopefully we see an Earthquake come out here. Mawile protects. As Garchomp goes for... Yes, the Earthquake. Helping Hand Dragon Claw would have been very, very scary there, but fortunately, it's not what my opponent goes for. So, a lot of switches in this game so far. Now I can just Draco Garchomp, quite honestly, and target Cress. I'm not sure if my opponent knows Hydreigon is Scarf just yet. My opponent might also want to switch out Garchomp into the Heatran he's got in the back. So I'm very tempted to actually Earth Power that slot. But I can also just get a free Dark Pulse onto Cresselia. Oh, it's so tempting to Earth Power that slot. But you know what? I'm just going to double up on Cress here. With a Dark Pulse and an Iron Head. Oh, and he does switch it out. If that Heatran's coming in, I'll be kind of frustrated. That is Heatran. Oh, I almost called it. Ah. But I should get a lot of damage off here with the Dark Pulse and Iron Head. Maybe enough to KO. It should be enough to KO, actually, as he just goes for an Ice Beam. Onto Mawile. Okay, I was gonna switch into Landers there. Thank God I didn't. And he doesn't freeze, so that's perfect. So I'm gonna pick up the knockout here on Cress. That's perfect. Even though Earth Power onto Heatran would have been better, I did knock out Cresselia, which, like I said, threatens my Conkeldurr immensely. So, a huge momentum swift there. But he's going to be able to get a free switch into like Kangaskhan, which is obviously problematic. So I'm still not in the best of positions. But, let's see. I think Mawile's kind of done his job at this point, to be quite honest. Obvious plays, here's the fake out Hydreigon and just Heat Wave. This is kind of a tough position because I don't really have a great switch in. I want Landorus to come in, obviously, but I'd rather have it come in for free so I can get the Intimidate off. Because Landorus doesn't want to take a Heat Wave. That's going to put it in Kangaskhan KO range. So you know what? I'm actually just going to allow him to KO Mawile and let him fake out this Hydreigon. And I'm just going to go for the Dark Pulse onto Kangaskhan. Oh, he's not even going to bother attacking, so probably going for the low kick there instead. This could be trouble. And the reason I say this could be trouble is because now he's going to get the Heat Wave off as well. Let's see. Oh, he goes for the sub instead. So expecting my Protect from Mawile. Hopefully Play Rough connects, as it does. Oh, perfect. And it picks up the knockout. Awesome. So that was huge. I was expecting to go down a Pokemon there, but instead Mawile stays around and picks up the KO on Kangaskhan, which is great. Though now, of course, Heatran is hiding behind a sub, which is annoying. I think I'm going to bring Landorus in here to get the Intimidate on Garchomp. This is a really tight battle. But it's obviously slightly in my favor as of right now. So if I were him, I'd Protect Garchomp and Heat Wave. So maybe Conkeldurr would have been a slightly better switch in. Ooh, this is tough. That sub's really annoying. You know what? I'm just going to Rock Slide. Well, I'm going to sack Mawile here. There's not... Okay, the issue is I can't just freely Earthquake because I have Conkeldurr in the back too, so that's problematic. I can also Superpower Garchomp. Unfortunately, I don't have Sucker Punch on this Mawile. It would help out a lot here. I'm gonna... see, Superpower Rock Slide. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to Superpower here. I can't allow myself to attack into my own Conkeldurr. But he does Protect with Garchomp, which is bad. Oh, he double protects, actually. So that's actually really good for me. He was probably expecting me to... Or he was definitely scouting out the item there, but had I Earthquake, that would have knocked out myself. So I'm glad I went for the Superpower there. Let's see. I'm actually tempted to switch out the Mawile here into Conkeldurr. Or I could actually just Protect. Oh, but the reason I want to switch is... Actually, you know what? I'm going to Protect here. Yeah. I should have this game won, actually. If everything plays out correctly. I'm going to Protect here to make sure it stays around for one more turn. And go straight for the Choice Band Superpower onto Garchomp. This way, Heat Wave's doing less damage to my Conkeldurr once it comes in. Oh, he's going for the Rock Slide. Really hope it doesn't flinch here. If it doesn't flinch, I'm good. Don't flinch. Don't flinch. Yes, it gets it off. Whew. That should pick up the KO. Awesome. So that was huge. His Rough Skin obviously going to affect me a bit there. But I'm perfectly fine with that. It's probably going to go for the Heat Wave here. Yep. It's going to connect with Landorus. How much does it do? Oh, picks up the knockout, actually. So this is actually coming down to the wire. It's now Heatran under a sub against Mawile and Assault Vest Conkeldurr. Of course, I've got Drain Punch too, so I can recover a lot of the damage I'm taking, but... Mawile's probably going to go down to a Heat Wave here. So I might as well just go for the double protect. If I get it or if he misses, that Heat Wave's going to be doing less to the Conkeldurr, obviously. And I'm just going to go for Drain Punches at this rate. Oh, and I actually get it, which definitely helps me out a lot. That might just save Conkeldurr. Heat Wave connects. How much damage does it do? Assault Vest and spread damage. 134 down to 79. So I get a Drain Punch off here. That's great. Might have actually saved. I figured I'd heal back enough here anyway. But let's see. Yeah, I think I could have taken another Heat Wave, but I think this should lock up the battle. This is a really intense game though. Now I can just Rock Slide and Drain Punch. If he goes for the Heat Wave, his Heatran's going to take a Drain Punch, and that's going to put it in Mach Punch range. He is just going to go for it though, so as long as he doesn't crit here, I'm good. And that doesn't look like a crit. So Conkeldurr hangs on with 51 HP, and it should be able to get the Drain Punch off. Let's see. Drain Punch coming out. Okay. That's going to heal back a lot. Looks like it's in Mach Punch range. Yeah, 2 Mach Punches should knock it out. Or even just 1. But I'm tempted to just go for the Drain Punch. I don't want him critting me, though. Even if Mach Punch doesn't knock out, another one should, so I'm just going to go for the Mach Punch. He's not even going to protect, so let's see if this is enough to KO. Woo! Picks up the knockout. That was a really fantastic game. Really close, no hacks involved whatsoever. Just a pretty clean win, a very long and drawn out game, but I really liked it. I thought my opponent played really well, given the positions he was put in throughout the course of the game, but it ended up working out for me. Conkeldurr really pulling its weight there. You know, my battle plan was to knock out Cresselia and get Conkeldurr in safely, and it kind of worked out, so that was really, really nice. In the end, I'm glad I didn't bring Bishop because I didn't want to deal with his Kangaskhan or his Heatran. And the sub was a scary move, but in the end ended up working out. So 1884 now, only 16 points away from the 1900 goal we're aiming for. So that's obviously really, really exciting as we look for the second opponent of today's episode of Road to Ranked. Also, I'm actually going to be streaming, oh my god, a 1904 rated player from Japan. So if I win this, I think I'm actually going to be over 1900. So it's going to come down to this battle. Of course, if I don't win, I can still climb back up, but hopefully I do win this. But yeah, I'm actually going to be streaming. By the time this video goes up, it shouldn't be very long, but 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time to 9 p.m. Cybertron VGC, that's my Twitch. So follow me there if you don't. I should be going live pretty soon. So this is for all the marbles, guys. If I can win this, 1900, the goal is reached. It's got Kangaskhan, Hydreigon, Zapdos, Aegislash, Landorus T, and Arcanine. So double Intimidate with Landorus and Arcanine. Very standard team. He's got his own Hydreigon, or she, excuse me. Kangaskhan, obviously, we just saw that in the last match. Zapdos, support Pokemon that we're both running, and Hydreigon as just an annoying thing to deal with. So Bisharp's really fantastic in this match because of how it checks the Aegislash and it can take in the Intimidates, but Kangaskhan obviously is one of the biggest counters to Bisharp, so I'm going to have to be careful of that. Conkeldurr here is pretty excellent. It can hit 5 of my 6 opponents' Pokemon for super effective damage, but Conkeldurr isn't a Pokemon that really likes taking in Intimidates, and the Arcanine's definitely something that looks very obnoxious to deal with. So I'm thinking of leading with... I like Hydreigon as a lead. It's always a pretty safe lead. Zapdos isn't bad in this matchup, just because I can Thunder Wave everything. Let's see. Thunderbolt, Heat Wave, Roost, Thunder Wave. Hydreigon, maybe Mawile, though I suspect Arcanine, Kangaskhan might be a potential lead. My opponent's definitely going to lead with Kangaskhan, I think. So I'm very tempted to lead with things to counter that immediately. You know what, Conkeldurr is a really good check to my opponent's team, so if he leads with Kangaskhan, I'm going to punish it. I like Landorus just to intimidate whatever he wants to bring right from the start. Hydreigon in the back. Not sure if I really want to bring Mawile in this match, but... yeah, you know what, I'm going to bring Bisharp instead. That way, if my opponent decides to bring Intimidators, Bisharp can punish it. But, this is the game for 1900, guys. All the pressure's on the line. I have been taking these games a lot more seriously, so I've been able to go on a pretty nice win streak, winning basically the last, I think, 6 games on the 1800 climb. He's going to go with Hydreigon and Kangaskhan, though, as I go with Conkeldurr and Landorus. That's a pretty solid lead here for me. As I get the Intimidate off on Kang, Glad I didn't bring my own Kangaskhan, actually, or my own Hydreigon, just because, you know, Hydreigon wouldn't really fare too well in this position, because he would definitely go for Fake Out, but just gonna quickly note my opponent's team so I don't forget. Kangaskhan, Hydreigon, Lando T, Arcanine, Zapdos, and Aegislash. So getting your opponent's team down is always really important, just helps out a lot. Conkeldurr is in a fantastic position, and I'm really glad I decided to lead with it. I could also just Superpower immediately to pick up the KO, but he might switch into the Aegislash, which I suspect is in the back. So let's see. I'm gonna Drain Punch the Conkeldurr, the Kangaskhan slot, and I'm gonna U-turn onto Hydreigon. He does switch out, so I'm expecting Aegislash to switch in here. Let's see what comes in, though. That's not Aegislash. Looks like Arcanine, actually. Yeah. So another good Pokemon to switch in to get the Intimidate off on both of my attackers, but I'll take that any day. That's fine. Let's see what item Hydreigon is. It goes for the Draco Meteor right away onto Landorus there. Let's see how well Landorus takes this. Oh, it actually picks up the Knockout. Nice. So huge KO from my opponent there as Landorus just goes down without doing anything. That's really bad. It's going to set me back a bit. But having a Conkeldurr in here is still fantastic. So I've got to bring in Hydreigon now. Let's battle out. My opponent picked up a KO that early because it means Kangaskhan can freely come in the future. Probably could have played that a bit safer because I knew he was going to switch out. But I wasn't sure what item the Hydreigon had. So obviously I'm Scarf Hydreigon. I can just outspeed his and Draco Meteor. But given what is in the back, he might decide to switch that out. Like I said, he's got... I feel like he's going to switch the Hydreigon out, but I can't afford to lose another Pokemon this early on. I'm going to knock off the Arcanine to get rid of its item. And you know what? I'm just going to Draco Meteor the Hydreigon. He's going to switch it out though, so... darn. Let's see what comes in. This should be my opponent's last Pokemon. Zapdos. Okay, that's a good last Pokemon to see, actually. I was afraid of Aegislash, but... it's not going to be able to take this Draco Meteor really well. I should be able to actually 2-hit KO it. And I don't mind seeing Zapdos at all. Yeah, that does a ton of damage. It does have the Citrus Berry, though, so I'm interested in seeing what item Arcanine has, because I don't know. Also, let's see what Arcanine goes for. Oh, Close Combat! Wow! Was not anticipating that. That's a huge move for my opponent, getting the crit along the way. I'm going to go down 4-2 instantly, so... normally Arcanine, you see it moves like Will-O-Wisp, Snarl, Heat Wave, stuff like that. It's pretty rare to see Close Combat, and now I'm regretting not Drain Punching that slot, as I do get a knockoff. Oh, and it's Choice Banded, so there you go. That's the item. Fascinating. I do get a free switch into Bisharp, but I'm still in a really rough position right now. If I were him, I would just... he might want to Roost with the Zapdos. I'm definitely Mach Punching the Arcanine here. But the question is what I want to do with Bisharp. Do I knock off the Zapdos or do I Sucker Punch it? You know what? I'm going to knock off it. If he doesn't attack, even if he attacks, he shouldn't be able to KO either my Pokemon, and I should pick up a knockout. Mach Punch coming out. Picks up the KO on Arcanine. Good. So let's see what Zapdos goes for. Oh, he just went for the T-Bolt onto Conkeldurr. As I take that pretty well, but that's a missed opportunity. Oh wow, looks like I didn't KO it either. Oh, because it didn't have Citrus Berry. That's bad. If I had Intimidate in the back, I'd feel a lot better about my position, but maybe if he messes up and brings in Hydreigon here, I can still win. But it depends on what he brings in. Kangaskhan's obviously the best. Oh, but he does bring in Hydreigon, so this is still winnable. I'm just gonna Drain Punch the Hydreigon. The question is, what is my opponent's Hydreigon gonna do? I feel like it's gonna just Draco the Conkeldurr, and he would T-Bolt Conkeldurr as well, double targeting in there. So you know what? I'm gonna Sucker Punch and Drain Punch. Oh, but he does go for the roost. As he goes for the DM onto Conk, hopefully Conk can hang on and get the Drain Punch off. That would be huge. Can I hang on? Oh, 2 HP! Oh my god. He does go for the roost with Zapdos, which is obviously bad. But I'm still in the game at least. Still in the game. Let's see how much damage this Drain Punch does, though. Very good amount there. So now I can Mach Punch that spot freely, knowing that it's still going to be very difficult to win this game because he's got the Kangaskhan in the back. If anything, I wasted a turn by Sucker Punching with Bisharp there. So I've got a Mach Punch here, and you know what? I'm just going to Sucker Punch. Maybe if I can KO with Sucker Punch and he's careless enough to attack. Oh, but he is smart enough to roost once again. So I think that's actually just going to be game. But at least I knock out Hydreigon, bringing this to a 2-2 battle. Unfortunately, though, Conkeldur's taken so much damage at this point, as Zapdos gets yet another roost off. Yeah, Zapdos hanging on with that little HP hurt me a lot, for sure. Kangaskhan's able to come in for free here. My opponent definitely played a better game thus far, though. And, you know, the surprise KO with Hydreigon in the beginning was bad. And like I said, I could have played a lot safer there. And he switched into Arcanine, which was a great switch into. So he's probably going to just fake out. I mean, no matter what he does here, it's really hard for me to win. He can just fake out Bisharp, T-Bolt Conkeldurr. Or fake out Conkeldurr, double target it. So I'm just going to Drain Punch and... No, I'll just... Yeah, I'll Drain Punch and Iron Head. Yeah, I don't really see much of a way to win at this point. My opponent basically picking up 2 surprise knockouts really hurt me. You know, that's kind of why you run... Oh, fake out. Yeah, okay. Coming on to Conk. I actually hang out with 7 HP, which is pretty cool. But T-Bolt here is probably going to target Conkeldurr as well. Yep. So my opponent assessing that Conkeldurr is the threat and knocks it out before it can do anything, but that's obviously the best and smartest play you can make at that point. As Iron Head here does a lot of damage, actually. So I can just Sucker Punch to knock out Kangaskhan, but then Zapdos just beats me. Yep, I'm going to bring it down to a 1-0, but pretty one-sided. Not one-sided, but I think my opponent just played it much better in terms of maintaining momentum. This is one of the cases where the final score is kind of close, but my opponent kind of had the advantage the entire game. Yeah, Zapdos knocks me out with Thunderbolt there. So, unfortunately, 0-1 loss in a pretty intense game. So, not going to be able to reach 1900 in this episode, but hopefully in the next one, or, you know, future ones, just because we still have a couple of days to go. Ending a pretty long episode today, but 2 really fantastic battles against 2 excellent trainers as well. So, Choice Band Arcanine, not as common as the more bulky variants, but, you know, in this battle, it really came through. I thought Arcanine was in a pretty bad position at that point, but... in perspective, maybe I should have Draco Meteor, Arcanine, and Drain Punched with the Conkeldurr, because Hydreigon was my key to winning this match given the speed advantage, and losing both of my fast sweepers in the beginning hurt me a lot. So I'm going to end up losing the second game after winning the first game, but really exciting. Like I mentioned earlier, I am streaming, so definitely check me out at twitch.tv/CybertronVGC at 7 p.m. Eastern, and I'll see you guys there. Alright, peace guys.